Hi, this is Marloomz Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make these mini beach tote on your Rainbow Loom. You can actually fit about 6 quarters inside, and you can close it if you add a little charm as a clasp. And for today, this is going to be 5 pins, so it is 2 looms, but I will be showing you how to make it on 1 loom on another video. For today, you're going to need to choose the color of your handle and the main color of the base. I'm going to be using these tie-dye, pastel tie-dye bands that I found at AC Moore. And basically the way the purse is made is you make one and then you make another so they're identical, and then we stitch them together, and then it gives it that look. And so if you just want to make one piece and use that as a charm, you can do that as well. So today's bands are the pastel tie-dye from Loom Bands. I found these at AC Moore. And another thing is that some of my purses are UV light bands. They change color. These do not change color, but these do. And what I did is the ones that change color, I looped a color that it's going to change into on the side. So now I know this one will change from clear to purple. This one is just the tie-dye bands are from AC Moore, and the clear bands do not change. This one is just Rainbow Looms Clear, and it still looks really cute. And this one is just all jelly. So it's Rainbow Looms Jelly Blue and Rainbow Looms Clear bands. And I like this one because I feel like it's waterproof, and you can take it with you to the beach for, I know that some people, like in New Jersey, have to find a meter for their car, and you can put the quarters in there, and you can add a little clasp, and you can hold this on your keychain, and it'll change. You know, if you use the color changing at AC Moore, you can do that too. So let me show you just one more thing. These are the color changing bands that I found at AC Moore, and this is by DIY, and this one is very clear that it tells you that it's going to be changing to pink. It says UV color changing. However, right next to this pack was this pack. And this one, I don't know if a lot of you realize this when you go to AC Moore, I didn't know these change color until I saw the little corner. It says UV changing color, and I almost didn't even notice it. I just thought it was a bag of clear bands, and I wanted to know what color it changed to, so I asked an employee if I can bring a couple bands outside, and she brought the bags outside for me, and once I figured out what was what, then I put a label on it when I got home. But be careful, and if you see these, you know, ask an employee at AC Moore if you can go outside so that you don't get like 3 bags of blue. So I just wanted to let you know. And then these do tell you what color it's going to change to. So let's get started. And for the main color, the handle and the base, you're going to need 118 bands. If you're doing the attachment, if you're doing 2 of them and attaching. If you're only going to do one and leaving it flat as a charm, you're only going to need 59. So if you're going to do the actual purse that's 3D, it's 118 pink solid color bands. If you're doing this purse as well, for the clear, you're going to need 108. If you're just doing the flat version, it's 54 clear and 59 color. So that's how many bands you're going to need all together. And for today, I'm going to be doing the 3D version, and so that's going to be 118 colored bands and 108 clear bands. So gather your supplies and let's get started. You're going to need to have your loom set up in the straight configuration. If you don't know how to do that, or you get confused, what I did was I just attached the 2 together. So these are 2 looms, and the bases are in the middle. And then I put 1 base on top, catching the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. And then on this one, I caught the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And this is how I did it on the bottom. So the bases are in the middle, the way they would be on both looms anyway. And then I just used the smaller ones to catch either side. So that's how your loom should be set up, and make sure that the arrows are facing down and the opening is facing you. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to grab your main color of your handle and the base, and you're going to take a single band and place it across. And this is just a single on those 2. single here, single here, and a single here. And then you are going to take double now. So from now on, we're just using 2. Place 2 here of the solid color, 2 here, and 2 here. And now on the second row and the fourth, we're going to go down 5 times. And still using double. So we went down 5, but altogether you should have 6. So you should have 6 in the middle row, and on this row it's the same thing. So the end rows are empty, and the middle row is empty. And now we're going to use our clear bands, and for this tutorial I'm going to be using the UV, sorry for all the crinkling, the UV color bands, and mine are going to change to pink. You can use clear, it still looks really cute. If you don't have the color changing, then yours will just look like this one. There's hair everywhere. It'll look like this, and it still looks really cute. So we put a clear, 2 clear here, 2 clear here, and we're just putting clear until this band right here, so this whole row right here. And remember that this row right here, we don't put anything on it. We're going to need it later for the handle of the purse. So we're just filling in this middle row with all the clear bands, and then we are filling in the outer row with the clear. And now we can make the handle to the purse. You have a choice. You can make the purse handle the same color, or one solid color, or you can do like I did on this one, where I did 4 green, 4 brown, 4 green, so you just have a little color at the top. It's your choice, but the color of, the handle does take the whole row, so I just want to let you know that. So I'm just going to use the same color that I chose for the middle. And what you do is you don't collect hair. You just go down this entire row to the bottom peg. So it does take 12 rows. And then when you get to the end, what I do is I cap it, but I cap it with the color that my clear bands are going to change to. So if my clear band is going to change to blue, I cap it to a blue, and then what happens is when you put the handle, it sticks out, and that's just a little reminder to tell you that this one's color changing. You don't have to do that. I just thought it would be cute if you give it to a friend, or if you're selling it, that you remember yourself which ones are color changing and which ones just stay solid. So just go down all the way. you have gone to the last peg, you take a single band and wrap it around only 2 times. And again, you can choose the same color that matches this, or you can choose the color that your bands are going to be changing to. And then we can loop that. So you're going to push that band back, grab the bottom 2, and loop that forward. And these bands are slippery. Once you have finished, you can take your hook, grab them, pull them off, and all these bands right here will go on this peg, the one that has the colors. And then you're going to, and this is where it's a little tricky, you're not going to grab that band and put that there. You're going to take your hook and go through these 2 pink bands and these 2 pink bands. And then you're going to open that and make sure you pull that pink band out of the way. So you're just opening all those bands and putting it on that peg. And now that pink band sticks out. And that could be your little, you can cut that at the end. When we loop it, if you don't like it, you can just cut that off. But this is how I tell myself that this one is a color changing. And now we're going to place the horizontal capping bands. So you're going to take 2 bands at a time and place it on these 3. You can use 1 band if you want. If you don't want your purse to be thick and chunky, I like it like that. But I'm using 2, so you can use 1 if you want. And then on these 3. So that's the pattern. We're just going to keep doing 2 bands on these 3. And then catch this middle one and on these 3. Try not to catch that last row. Then these 3. And these. These 3. And these 3. And I'm using the color changing bands as well. You can use just plain clear if you want. I just like the color changing in the middle too because it shows more. And that's it. And now we are going to loop, but before we loop, there's this clear band here. You're going to lift it up and over that middle peg right here. So let me show you one more time. There's that clear band. Lift both of them up and over this middle peg. Pull these down like that. Then this one right here too. Lift it up and over, and then make sure that's pulled down. And now we can loop. So we're going to reach into this, pull this back, grab the bottom 2, and maybe hold down the band on the bottom because they are slippery and they can pop off. So loop that forward and then reach in here and push back the handle and make sure that you are grabbing 2 bands on the bottom and loop that forward. Then reach in here, and these are all clear so they could be tricky. Push back everything except the bottom 2 and loop it forward. Reach in here where the handle is, grab the bottom 2, loop that forward, and then same here. You can reach in, grab the bottom 2. I like to hold this band down because it pops off, and loop that forward. And then once you did that, you can then pop these off and release some of the tension. And this one too, just the white bands. Then we're going to reach in here, push back all these bands, grab the bottom 2, and loop it forward. Push back all these bands, grab the bottom 2, loop forward. Same here, this one's pretty thick because we have a lot of bands in the middle. push them back, grab the bottom two, loop forward. The same here. Make sure that when you're looping forward you have two bands with you. And the same here. And this one's going to be just a little bit easier than these because they're just single. So push back. And we're pushing back this horizontal capping band. Holding band. So you push back the clear band, loop forward. Push back all these, grab the two, loop forward. The same here. Now on this peg, it's just the same thing over and over, just looping forward, making sure you're pushing back this clear band always. Make sure you always push back that clear band, the holding band, otherwise your creation will fall apart. This band right here, push it back. There's two to push back and then loop forward. I'm taking my hook and I'm going around in a circular motion just to release some of the tightness. It was a little tight. The jelly bands are a little harder to work with sometimes. And then these go forward. Push back all the clear bands, this forward. And now we're going to take this band that's in here and bring it to the peg over. And the same on this one. Bring it to this peg right here. Then we're going to reach in and bring these two bands. There should be two bands. This band right here, you're going to be pushing that back and then grab the bottom two and loop it to the middle peg. Same thing. Take this band, push it back. Grab the bottom two, loop it to the middle. Then take the color that matches your main color, the solid color. Take your hook, go through all the bands, pull it through, and then you're going to create a slip knot. Don't pull too hard, and then you can take your little handbag or tote off, and I like to take it off little by little. These bands are really strong and I don't think they'll pop, but I just still like to do that. I don't want to break my loom. And now this is where you have the choice to connect them to the same, you would have to make the exact same thing. So it's two pieces and then we just stitch them together, or you can just leave it like this as a little charm. And I'm not going to make the second one because I already pre-made it, so the next part is just going to show you how to stitch them together. So you can pause the video and make another one if you do want two of them together. So you just adjust it. And see, this is where the band says, you know, color changing. And then I take this and I take my hook and I go through this little loop on the bottom. I grab this loop and I pull it through the pink. You don't have to do this. I just like to make sure that it's double knotted. And then, because they're slippery, so I feel like the slippery bands, the jelly bands, come apart. And then you can find the side that you like best. I like the way this side looks, so on this side I'm going to hide the band. And you just grab that band and you pull it through and doesn't want to work, you just grab it and pull it through. And that is the first part of your purse. If you want to connect it, you're going to wash the second part. Both pieces, and I'm going to now connect them. And what you do is you find the side that you like better, that looks a little neater, and where I tied the knot, I'm going to make that the inside. So this is the way I'm connecting them, and you can leave where the rubber bands are sticking together. And what you're going to do is, once they're together, there's this white band, there's this set right here, there's 2, and then there's 2 here. So these 2 here, 2 here, we're not grabbing those, we're grabbing the 3rd set. That's what I call it, the 3rd set, because there's 2 here, 2 here, then the inside 3rd set. And the same here, there's 1 here, 1 here, and then this inside 3rd set. And you're going to take your hook and go through both of them like that. Take a single, and this is color changing as well, and pull it through. And I always leave the loop on my finger. And with this right here, we're going to grab the next set of the inner band. So it's not this one or this one, it's going to be these 2 and these 2 right here. And then you just take that loop and put it on your hook. And this is what yours should look like. And then you're going to grab another single and you're going to pull it through. Again, leaving that loop on your finger. And you're going to grab the next 2 and the next 2 on the other side of the purse and put them all on the hook. And the same on this one. Just keep wiggling it through. Here's a single band. Grab these 2 and these 2. And I just pull on it to adjust it. And the same thing, another single, and pull it through and grab these 2 clear bands. Oops, I messed up. Alright, so let me grab my 2 again. Pull it through. Sometimes it's hard to see. If you did it already, then you can, it's these 2 actually. And then once you've grabbed those 2, then you grab these 2 right here. It really doesn't matter if you grab a little bit of a wrong band because it's clear, so you can't even tell. So now the next color is going to be the pink, because we have to switch to the color of our solid color. So grab a single and pull it through and grab these 2 and these 2. And then grab another single of the solid color, pull it through, and grab these 2 and these 2. Now the bottom is not exact which ones to grab because it's the way we looped it, so it's just try to just grab 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Pull it through. And just grab 2 here and any 2 on this side. And the same here. And this part is probably a little bit harder because it's not as neat as the sides. So we looped another single, and then you can just grab any two here. And any two here. And grab another single and pull it through. And grab two here and two here. I grabbed another single, pulled it through all those bands, and then I'm grabbing these two here and these two. And now I'm switching to my clear bands again, the color changing, and pulling it through. And I'm grabbing these two and these two inner bands right here. Another single, pull it through. These two. Just gotta be careful not to grab the cap bands, and these two right here. So it's not the first set, it's the third set inside. And I did that wrong because I did not even grab one side. So I'm grabbing the inner band here and this inner band here, and then placing that loop back on my hook. And the same thing, just loop this through, and you're going to be grabbing these two here and these two right here. Grab another single, loop it through, grab those two and these two, and then loop this through, and grab these two. So that's one, two, and then this inner one right here, these two. And then you grab another single, and you pull it through, and then we can create a little knot over here. You could either create the slip knot now on the corner and then hide it, or you can go through these two bands and slip knot it. I'm just going to slip knot it right here. And then you can just take that band and you can turn your purse inside out, and you can hide that band inside. Just take the band and go down the sides, and you won't see it, and then turn it back inside out. So that's how you make your purse. If you want to add a charm, then what I did was I put these buttons, and these are also from AC Moore. These do have the little loop at the end, so you can just put a band through it. It is a little hard to put a band through it, so I use a piece of dental floss. And then I bought these, and these do not have a loop, and I still was able to put my band through it. I used floss. So what I'll do is I will show you. I'll open this one, and you're going to grab a piece of dental floss. Here's my dental floss. I'm just going to twist it. And then you're going to take your floss and put it through one of the holes of the charm if it doesn't have a backing. Grab your band, put it on there, and then reinsert it through the same, let me just grab that band, put it through the same hole that you just went through. It should come out the front, and then you just grab it and it should look like that. Now if you want your band to be a different color so that your color for the flower is different, you can do that. I'm just using the same color changing band that I use on the purse. And then you're going to put your loop, your band through, your dental floss through that loop, and take the corners and put them together. And then put it back through the other hole. I do not like this dental floss, it's too slippery. And then once it's out the other end, you're going to pull. And then you can take your piece of dental floss away. Now you have 2 loops. And what I did was, to make my life easier, I just used an S-clip inside. You take your hook and just place where you want the charm first. I want it right about there. And so this loop, I go through the inside of the bag and I try to come out and grab that first loop and pull it through. And then while it's still on the hook, I go through this side and grab the other loop and pull it through. So now this is the inside of my purse, and I take both loops and I S-clip it. You can use a band and just do a slip knot if you want, but I just S-clipped it. And that could be your little buckle for your purse. And then for what I did on this part is you can use any color. You don't have to use clear. You can use a color. I just grabbed these 2 bands over here and then these 2 bands, and those were the holding bands. And then I grabbed 2 pink bands. I pulled one set through first, and then I took another and I slip knotted that one. You don't have to do that. And then that became my little buckle, and it closed my purse. And then you can see, I did the same on this one, that you should be able to fit at least 6 or 7 quarters. And then you just take the little handle, you cover it. And these loops that are loose, just try to pull on them, and you can turn your purse inside out and pull them. And this is how you create your little tote bag. As far as the way I have it for this one, you just grab 2 bands on the side. So it's a lot of stitching, this tutorial. You just grab the 2 bands over here. It doesn't matter which 2. It's hard to see because they're clear. And then these 2. And you just grab a single band and you just make a single chain, and you just continue to keep making some single chains. And I think I did on that one about 6 or 7 to, desired length that you want. And once you have made as many lengths as you want, I'm just going to take it off now to show you. Then you would, I'm going to borrow this one, you would just take one of these keychain hooks, put it through, and then you can clip that to your backpack. And if you want to add a charm to the other side, you can too. So this is how you make your beach bag or mini tote on the loom, on 2 looms, and I'm going to be making a single loom version as well. And thank you for watching. Add that, here's the slip knot when we ended the stitch, and the clear bands and the color changing are slippery, and slip knots can come undone, and if it comes undone, your entire stitching will come apart. So what I did was, once I added the link for the keychain, I took that slip knot band and I went through my keychain link, then I went around, twisted, and I did that like 2 times, and now that slip knot is secured on your link, and that way it shouldn't come apart. I just wanted to add that because I don't want your stitching to come apart.